Hi all, welcome back to Beanie Composter. We had quite a cold January and initially the Hotbin was doing really well. We made a video on your Hotbin questions answered, and in that one I showed taking the hatch door off, and from what I remember on that, half of the compost looked really quite ready. So I had an instance while we were filming that the Hotbin was doing well, but a good week after that it started to go a little bit colder and it wouldn't warm up no matter what I did. So my initial thoughts was that it had compacted at the bottom, and I got a day where I had a bit of time. I took the hatch door off and emptied a load of compost, and I literally thought after that things would sort of heat up and would be rocking and rolling again. But as it happened, that was in the midst of like quite a cold snap that we were having here, and I think I'd been responding to a few people on the channel, speaking to them, and they were like questioning about the kickstart bottle, but I didn't actually want to use that. I just thought maybe because it was so cold it would take a little bit of time. And as I was sort of feeding it, one week led into the next week, and we weren't getting hot at all. It sort of come up to probably about 30-35, but not into the green. So I got a day where I had a bit of time to concentrate on looking at it, and I knew there weren't too many issues. I thought that I had like a gap and it just needed a really good stir up, and I took some stuff out like I've shown in previous videos, gave it a real good stir from the bottom, and once again we're back up hot composting again. So have a look what temperature we're at. Nice and steamy. Both thermometers, because I'm still not using the mini at the moment, are, you know, high in the green, so real good temperatures there on both of those. So Hotbin doing really well after that really good stir up. Now this channel's really about Hotbin composting and the community we're creating, and one guy, Barry Q, sent me a video of his homemade Hotbin, and I think you can see that on YouTube. It's an amazing piece of kit that he's built himself, and I think you don't actually get to see it in its full glory. So Barry, I know you probably watch these videos, so I think not just on the channel but in the wide web itself, a lot of people would like to see how you put that Hotbin together, what's actually was involved in it. And I'm sure, you know, I know you've got a few videos out there, so people would really like to see how you built that, and maybe if you were to build another one you could show how you got to that stage. But well done Barry, and that's an amazing piece of kit that you've built there. Another reason for this video is we've invested in something that a few of you have been telling me to get, so we'll reveal that surprise in a second. For all of you that have been following the channel, you may have known over Christmas time we had to chop down the hedge, and as I say, the Hotbin, although it wasn't coming up to temperature for a couple of weeks, I was actually every other day I was feeding it, and trying to get through this stuff for the bulking agent, the old wrist was starting to hurt and it just doesn't seem to be going down at all. So we had to do it. So ta-da! After a couple of unsuccessful viewings looking at stuff on, you know, that Facebook stuff and all that, we actually managed to get this shredder for £20 today. So a real proper bargain, I'm hoping. That's if it actually works, because yesterday we went to someone's house and they actually went to put the stuff in the shredder and it didn't do, well, it done jack shit basically. So yeah, we didn't obviously invest in that one, but I'm hoping the guy was very nice that we bought this one off, and yeah, he actually plugged it in, got it working and showed us it. So we're hoping for £20, let's be honest, that's, you know, pocket money nowadays. So hopefully this is going to be a good investment. This year we've got obviously the rose that we need to cut down. The plum tree needs a good trim because it's just getting way out of hand, and we're always cutting bits and pieces, and I'm hoping that this is going to help out the old wrists, and I'm not going to be cutting as much by hand anymore. So I'll let you know how things go with this, but just to let you all know, I did actually get a shredder, and I'm hoping it's going to be not just a good investment, but actually a bit of fun as well. Might get the little one out here and involved in a bit of gardening, which would be good, rather than in spending so much time on screens.
Well, don't put your fingers there.
I'm not going to when the blade is, am I? It's actually not done that much. Oh, look.
I think you need it closer to the wall.
What do you mean closer to the wall?
Well, this. Yeah, now it's really close.
Yeah, let's shift that out. Okay, initially we had a bit of problems with the first sort of load.
No,
But after
Beanie reading instructions.
But after a little bit of fettling and Mrs. B being able to see things clearly, I think the end results are pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but for the Hotbin, it's going to be more than, you know, good enough for what we need. So this is what we've literally turned that into in just the space of a few minutes, whereas if you're cutting that up with hand, you know, secateurs, it's going to take you, as I say, days, months, hours, years, whatever it takes, but forever. And I think health and safety wise, I've got a feeling all my fingers are sort of still in one piece. Hang on a minute, what's happened to my thumb? I think that's come apart a bit, but yeah, I'm sure I'll get the missus to sew that up later. And yeah, all good on this end.
You were crazy.
What?
You're crazy.
So as I'm sure you're aware, we've got quite a small garden here, but we do have a lot of stuff in here, like bushes, some small trees, things like that. And as I said at the beginning of the video, all this stuff behind us that we're just storing not only becomes a little bit unsightly, it actually takes up a lot of room. So that's why we decided to invest in a shredder, because as you can see, just this whole thing was full up, and I've shredded that down, and we're gonna, you know, I'm definitely gonna have that filled up with all the stuff that we've got. We've still got a little bit of stuff at the front, so it's just gonna help us not only tidy things up, but keep things a little bit easier. And personally, for me, it means we're not spending as much time in the garden chopping stuff up, which sometimes it can be quite nice, but when you're doing it every other day to put stuff in the hot bin, it does become a bit monotonous after a while. So that's another thing. And with this one here, we actually didn't realise until the guy showed us that if you have a look, it actually compacts right down, so it's not actually going to take too much space up in our shed or wherever we decide to store it. So when it's unplugged, the top bit and here, this just lifts off, and that can can literally go inside of here. Another finger lost. So as you see there, it's not really any bigger than one of those like council, recycling tubs that you would have. So actually in the shed it's not going to take up so much space. And if I pass me that thing, that can just sit on top of there with all our bulking agent stuff and stuff that's been mushed down. And really for us it's just a win-win situation. So I hope this video has given you, first of all, a little bit of a laugh. Maybe it's inspired you to get a shredder like I have. And until next time, happy composting and enjoy.